So what's going on, right? So you can get
Yeah, go ahead. Got some people viewing on YouTube. Mateo and the guest, it looks like, so.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here today. It's a special day for us. We are hosting the open house. And welcome to guests, some old faces, new faces. A special guest, Henry Miller and Alex Sandoval. And I did want to share something personal of my Toastmaster experience and how Henry Miller and Alex Sandoval made an impact. So this is in 2023 when Alex was president of the club, or 2022, and he had gone on vacation for a couple of months, and that's when I was the president. And at that time, I went to a TLI event, and I met Henry Miller there, and he suggested that maybe you should, look into some leadership roles. So that's what motivated me to sign up as an AD and area director, and that experience has been really good. So thank you to both, and I just wanted to, thank Toastmasters for the great experience I've had so far. All right, so as for the meeting, this is meeting number 476. We just ground rules, silence your cell phones, any mobile devices, and then if you have to get up, do so quietly. So that we are not disturbing the speakers. All right, so with that, I'll hand it over to our president, Alexi.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you. Hello, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So you're all welcome. So we have a big gathering today, surprisingly. Lots of people showed up. Friendly welcome. You came as promised. Cool. Alex, happy to see you and hope to see you more often. So we start another meeting. Just like to say a few words about my recent travel. Just came from vacation, Italy, Florence, Rome. Really excited, liked it there. I didn't know that Florence used to be a technological hub of Europe. Who would know, but that was cool. Really glad to be back and just killed a few of my stereotypes about Rome specifically. Looks safe there. Did not see much pickpockets that everybody tried to tell me about them, warn about them. So pretty cool. On the top of that, just straight from the flight, I joined district icebreaker contest and just participated there. So it was pretty well organized, impressed. Did not take any place. There were only 3 places for 8 contestants, but just it was a good experience for me. Briefly about our achievements recently. Website significantly improved. Chris, is it you or somebody else? You and somebody else, or just you? Just you. A really great job.
Us, we.
Royal we, yes. We did this job with Chris, but really great. It's just totally different look now. So appreciate it. And Maria, thank you for Instagram. I took a look after vacation. Yeah, that's one step forward towards big social media, right? Presence. No, really cool. Thank you, guys. And I guess we are switching towards clicks, right? It's on the way, but that would be probably a separate session for that. And as I said, big presence today. Happy to see you here. We have guests. So first of all, let's congratulate new members. Kevin, congrats. We're glad to see you here. Thank you for joining us and hope to see you one day here in face-to-face. Yeah, whatever your schedule can accommodate, of course. But online is great as well. And we have guests, right? Mateo and Bo Wang, if I'm not mistaken. Do I pronounce it right, guys? Your names?
Yes.
Briefly introduce yourself, just a few words, who you are, what you're looking for, what's your interest in this club? Just briefly, whatever you believe is appropriate.
Okay. I'll start. My name's Mateo Port. I live near Los Gatos, and I'm looking for a local Toastmasters to improve my public speaking skills for work and also just to be a better communicator with friends and family.
Okay, thank you. And Bo, I'm not sure which is the first, which is the last name. I assume Bo is the first name. Bo. You on mute, I guess, so whatever.
It's better now?
Yeah,
Oh,
go
okay.
ahead, yeah.
Yeah, so Bo is my first name. So I'm also living in San Jose, very close to Los Gatos. Yeah, I'm also here to trying to figure out whether this is a good place for me to improve the public speaking capability.
Okay, thank you. And Kevin, you are now an official member. Just maybe a few words, just quick introduction for the present here.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kevin Vinson. I live in San Jose, and I've attended Toastmasters meetings in the past at a different club. But I hope that membership with all of you will help me improve my ability to communicate effectively and therefore improve my success at work.
Thank you. And with this quick introduction, we can start the meeting. So who's the next Toastmaster? So Tom, you.
Yeah.
Tom, welcome.
Thank you, Alexei. Thank you, Mr. President. Well, welcome. My name is Tom Bartesi, and it's my pleasure to be your Toastmaster tonight during our open house. Want to again welcome our guests and Kevin, our newest member. We have a packed agenda tonight, and my goal is to make sure we stay on time and finish up at 7:45. So I don't mean to be a big meanie, but if I come up here and pull you off the stage, please don't take it personally, okay? I also want to recognize Alex Sandoval's here. Alex is one of our former presidents and a former member, and he has graciously come tonight to attend our open house. So Alex, great to see you as always. I will be going over our agenda shortly. For our guests, every week we have the same agenda. We have a Toastmaster. I'm the Toastmaster tonight. We have speakers, we have evaluators, we have table topics, we have functionary roles. All that stays the same from week to week. What changes from week to week is which members fill which role. So you have the opportunity to take on any role any week. One week you could be a speaker, the next week you can be the Toastmaster, table topics master. We have big roles, we have small roles. So it gives you an opportunity to start to practice public speaking, get comfortable with the small role, and work your way up to the bigger speaking roles. I've been a member for about 5 years, and over the 5 years, I've given 36 speeches as a member of Toastmasters. And when I first started, I couldn't even stand up here and say my name. So look at me, right? Thank you. Now, before we go to the agenda, as most of you know, right now I'm an amateur stand-up comedian. I'm working my way up the ranks to become a professional stand-up comedian. And so I used my opportunity as a Toastmaster to open up the meeting with one of my jokes. And so here goes. I'm a big lover of, and Henry, you heard this joke last week, so please act like it's the first time you heard it, okay? Okay. I'm a big lover of pasta. I mean, it's really starting to become a bit of an obsession with me. I actually spent the last 5 years designing and constructing and opening a museum of pasta here in Los Gatos, downtown Los Gatos. And, you know, I spent my entire life savings doing this. But, you know, I have to tell you, it's been worth every penny. Penny.
Very fun.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And without any further ado, let's go through. Thank you for laughing again, Henry. Let's go through our agenda very quickly. We have two speeches tonight. Speech number one will be by our guest speaker, Henry Miller. Speech number two will be by Ryan, and it will be Ryan's icebreaker speech tonight. The icebreaker speech is the first speech that a member gives in their Toastmaster journey. And it is a speech 4 to 6 minutes long, and it's simply to share with the group something about your past, about your life that you find interesting and are comfortable sharing. So we look forward to your speech tonight, Brian. Table topics session. Chris will be our table topics master. We have speech evaluations tonight. We'll be doing a group round robin evaluation of Henry's speech. And then Alexi will be the speech evaluator for Ryan's icebreaker speech. And then we have 4 functionary roles every meeting. We have a timer, we have an odd counter, we have a grammarian, and we have a general evaluator. Our timer tonight is Electra. Electra, please come up here and describe for the group this role of timer. What's that all about? Welcome, Electra.
Good evening. I'm going to be the timer for this evening. One of the things that I do is I put up a green card for if you are under the appropriate amount of time, yellow as a warning, and then red if you are exceeding the time limit. Sorry, I'm out of breath because I've been running up and down the stairs. So for speeches, they need to be between 4 and 6 minutes. So 4 minutes would be green card, 5 minutes would be yellow, and then anything over 6 minutes would be a red card. Written evaluations would be somewhere between 1.5 minutes
2 to 3.
or I'm sorry, 2 to 3. Okay. Speech evaluators, would they also be 2 to 3? Okay. Okay. And then table topics, 1 to 2. Sorry, I was trying to get this off of the Toastmasters website and then I got it off of AI and clearly it's wrong. So anyway, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Electra. And just to let you know, on the cards that I gave you, there's a little card that has a cheat sheet on it with all the for all 3 parts of it. So there you go. The only thing we ask is you're sitting way towards the back, so make sure you wave that card so the speakers can see where they are. Thank you. Next up is our awe counter tonight, Maria. Maria, this role of awe counter, that sounds very intriguing. What does it involve?
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. My name is Maria Kovaleva, and I'm a counter today. And not only a counter, but like counter, so counter, and counter, and all the filler words that we use to occupy the space that we think should be occupied. But if you think about our speeches as music, and music has this meaningful pauses, so it can sound like a music, and speeches can sound like music too if we apply pauses. Just an exercise for home. When you practice your speech, try to put a word pause instead of how many how many you will have, like pause, then you will be aware of how much meaningful pauses can be done. And I will be counting us and other filler words by 5+. So if you use more than 5, I will report as 5+. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Pause. Pause again. Pause. Okay. Next up, our grammarian word of the day, Arun, grammarian. That sounds like a big role. What is grammarian word of the day all about?
So, wait, is it the same word of the day that we had used on October 8th? Okay, so we can maybe reuse this. Okay.
Yeah, we didn't really do it much justice last time, so we did it again.
Okay. So, yeah, as a grammarian, my role is to ensure that people improve their grammar and potentially catch any good phrases that we see used here and report back. And I will also identify any opportunities for improvement with any phrases that need correction or anything that I can catch off the top of my recording. And I'll introduce the word of the day today. Looks like we are doing it again. The exorbitant is our word of the day. It means that something that goes beyond what is fair, reasonable, or expected. So if an example is that the cost of our hotel was so exorbitant that we thought we had just bought the hotel. So looking for, so I'll report back on the usage of grammar. Hopefully we'll have a great session today. Thanks.
Exorbitant, the word of the day. Yes, I've during my career as an amateur comedian, I've been told that the laughter that my comedy generates from time to time is exorbitant. Right? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Please hold the applause for me. I know there'll be a lot of opportunities to applaud, but hold it till the end. Thank you. Next up, our general evaluator, Shirag. Last but not least, general evaluator. We got him all.
So as a general evaluator, I will be just looking at the overall meeting, start time, end time, whether we finish on time, areas for improvement, also engagement as to, you know, whether people are participating, also overall speeches, and then roles, whether people have signed up for roles. So those are the things I'll be looking at. And we want to make the best use of everyone's time and want to make sure that all of us are learning something from this. So that's what I'll be trying to do. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we're on to the speech portion of our program tonight. We have two speakers. Now, speech number one, I'm going to give a little bit of an introduction here for our guest. His name's Henry Miller. He is a friend of our clubs. He's not a member of our club, but he has comes to our club meetings now and then. He is a past District 4 governor and a 4-time distinguished Toastmaster. He's currently a member of clubs in districts 1, 4, 70, and 101, including Humorous Toastmasters, which I'm also a member in. This year marks his 27th year in Toastmasters, 27 years. You know, Toastmasters has been around for 100 years, so you've been involved in Toastmasters for more than a quarter of its existence. He started when he was only 15 years old, though. So there we go. Over the years, he has participated in numerous Toastmaster contests and has represented District 4 3 times at the regional level of the World Championships of Public Speaking. He also writes a wonderful blog called Speaking for All Occasions, Changing the World One Voice at a Time, which he initially started years ago as a Pathways project entitled Writing a Compelling Blog, and he kept it going. To date, his blog has over 200 articles on speaking for all occasions at and outside Toastmasters. And I have to tell you, I go onto his blog site. You know, a lot of blogs, you know, they post articles once every 6 months, once every year. Sometimes they're very stale. This guy's posting all the time. His most recent post is from last Sunday. So if you want to see a blog where someone gives it the attention that it deserves, Henry's blog is it. I will send it out to all the a link to all the members via Trello tomorrow, so you can check out Henry's blog. Now, I mentioned that Henry is a 4-time distinguished Toastmaster, and some of you are saying, "Oh, what's the big deal? 4-time? What is even a distinguished Toastmaster?" Let me tell you what you have to do to become a distinguished Toastmaster, and this guy's done it 4 times. You have to have completed 2 pathways. You have to have completed a distinguished Toastmaster project. You have to have been a club officer for either a 12-month term or 2 6-month terms. You have to have had a 12-month term at the district leadership level. You have had to have served as either a mentor for a new club or as a club coach. And you have to have also conducted and coordinated 1 youth leadership workshop or 1 speechcraft workshop or successively sponsored a new club. Henry has done all of that 4 times. Yeah. So 27 years, right? I'm working on my 2nd pathways. You're my role model. You're my idol. I gotta start working a little quicker. Okay, his speech tonight. He has graciously agreed to be our guest speaker tonight. And he's going to take us back to a time in his life when he began seeking answers to 2 critical questions that we all must address at some time in our lives. Little words that make the world go round or turn our lives upside down. Words that, for some, have a happy ending, although it never ends. Questions that quicken the senses sometimes, except for our common sense. Now, his pathway purpose of the speech tonight is to inspire his audience. Please join me welcoming Henry, who will tell us more about these questions and whether he has found his answers. The title of his speech is Only Time Will Tell, Only Time Will Tell, Henry Miller.
What is love? And how do you know when you are in it? Those are questions we all must answer at some time in our lives. Have you found yours? I thought I had found mine after I got the talk. You remember the talk? The one about the birds and the bees? Until I discovered what love really is. And that you will only know if you are in it when time will tell. So come with me as I take you back, way back to when I was 12. And I would go to the beach at sunrise with my papa, Big George, to swim and to listen to him and his old man gang of retirees who loved chatting about the good old days and the many pearls of wisdom they inherited from their parents. My papa's favorite? Early to bed, early to rise. Makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. I see some of you remember. But whenever we drove to the beach in Papa's pristinely kept Toyota Crown sedan, his poor man's golden chariot, we would chat about everything. So I was sure my papa knew something about everything. Until the day I asked Papa, Papa, what is love? And how do you know when you are in it? And to my surprise, Papa was lost for words. And after a pause that felt like it would be everlasting, Papa said, son, now those are good questions for your Mama Wilma. As soon as I got home, I went running to Mama, who marched me right back to Papa. And from that day, I could never get a straight answer to what I thought were 2 simple questions. Papa says it's a choice. Love is a choice only you, the lover, can make. Mama says it's a feeling, son. It's a feeling that sometimes will make you feel good, sometimes bad, sometimes happy, sometimes sad. But they both agreed that whatever it is, only time will tell. And it did. 1 year later, right there by the beach, when a giant wave sent Papa and me crashing ashore, then whoosh, we were swept to the other side of the bay, Dean's Bay, caught in the clutches of a riptide. That riptide was strong. But Papa was a bit stronger, struggling. Oh, he held my feet. While Papa was a bit stronger until that giant wave surrendered, retreating in defeat. When calm replaced panic, though tragedy was averted, Papa shook. I began laughing. Papa screamed, "What's so funny?" Honestly, I thought that wild ride was fun. I was laughing still until Papa seized the moment to ask a cruel question, to make his point that love is a choice. With a question, he asked, "So tell me, son, what if Mama were here? And what if we both were caught in that riptide?" Papa, it was an undertow. Whatever. Papa, whatever? Yeah. What if I could have only saved one? Who would you have wanted it to be? I turned to avoid answering. Papa insisted, "Who?" Well, Papa, perhaps the one you love most? Papa was stunned, began protesting. "Son, that was not a fair answer." Well, Papa, that was not a fair question. Then silence. A silence that left a stain on our souls as we drove home. Papa, I said, like a human volcano, beside me as we drove home, puffing and puffing, pondering his question as I too questioned my response. What choice would Papa have made? That question haunted me until I got home to Mama and found my answer when all she said was, "Son, why? Why go searching for what we have in abundance at home? Just look around. Love is everywhere. And when whatever you do, whatever you say, whatever you feel, when you do it with love, you are in it." My fellow Toastmasters, that day, I found my answer. That love is patient. As the good book says, love is kind. Love is everlasting. It's not for a moment. It is for a lifetime. But how do you know? How and when you are in it? Only time will tell. Mr. Toastmaster.
Wow, thank you, Henry. And you can see why we had him as our guest speaker tonight. That is a textbook speech on everything you'd want to find in a wonderful speech by the master. 27 years, it shows. Yeah, we should all aspire to be able to get up here and weave a story, give a speech like Henry just did. So we'll have an opportunity to evaluate Henry's speech round robin style in a few minutes. Next up will be our icebreaker speaker tonight, Ryan. And the title of his icebreaker speech is Sharing Myself. Ryan, welcome. I always, for icebreaker, I always encourage our icebreaker speakers, make sure you breathe. Don't forget to breathe, okay? All right, good luck.
Thank you. All right, so this is my project one, level one icebreaker speech, and it's called Sharing Myself. And so first off, I was going to start by thanking you guys all for accepting me into your community and for evaluating me today. I've been here for a little over a month now, and listening to all of you guys speak, it's been very inspiring. And your speech today was fantastic, but everyone here is amazing speakers. So I hope to someday reach that level. And today I kind of want to tell a story a little bit about why I joined Toastmasters and kind of some of my background and my passions and what actually led me to join Toastmasters and to keep coming back. So as you guys know, I work in, or I guess as some of you guys know, there's a lot of new faces to meet, at least here today, but I work in tech and I work on building computer chips. And what I really love about my job is not necessarily that we're building a chip that may someday go into everyone's smartphones or computers. Hopefully, I mean, never know, but hopefully someday those chips will go there. But what I really enjoy about my job most is every day I get to go and build something. I get to go build a small portion of that computer chip. I get to go build a tool that's going to help us test the chip. And I'm building something small every day. It's part of this larger project. But every day I can go home and say, wow, I built something today. I created something. And this desire to build and to create for me kind of stems from one of my hobbies. One of my hobbies that's a lot lower tech. It's much lower tech, actually. It's woodworking. And woodworking is kind of a family tradition of ours in a sense, at least in the amateur sense, because my dad and his grandfather, my grandfather, my dad's dad, were both engineers by trade, but in their free time, they both spent a lot of time in the workshop crafting furniture, crafting bowls, and other objects that they could use to improve their lives. And my grandfather built his house up in rural Vermont all by himself. And my dad, our garage is full of an exorbitant amount of tools. There's saws and more saws and drills and any tool you could really imagine. And so my dad, when we were little, always would bring us out to the garage and he'd have us hold a piece of wood or help him line up a cut or do something small, hoping to inspire us. And it didn't really take on me. As soon as I learned I could say, no, I don't want to be here, I was gone. I was outside playing ball or playing in the yard. And I never really understood why I'd want to be out there cutting wood. And it wasn't until I was maybe 17 or 18, many years later, that I would be browsing the internet as a teenager does, and I'd come across videos of people making stuff. And I'd look at what they're using and then say, wow, we have those tools at home. And I want to be able to make something like that. That seems really cool. So I enlisted my father's help and we went out to the garage, and a few cuts and a few drills and a few dollops of glue later, and many months later, because I'm quite a slow woodworker at this point, we completed a little table. And just finishing that table was just such a great feeling. I loved just the feeling of completing something, of being able to show people what I made. And when it came to time for me to choose a career path, I wanted to do something that I could build stuff for a living. And so that's kind of why I chose my career path. But one of the things that I did really love about woodworking is it's so easy to show people what you made. I can say, look, here's a table I made, or if I made a podium, I could say, here's a podium I made. You can feel it, you can touch it, you can hold it, you can do all those things. But at work, one thing I really struggle with always is sharing what I make. I write code, it's abstract, it's not really necessarily, you can just look at it, you can't feel it, you can't hold it. And for me, I kind of struggled with that part. So when I found out about Toastmasters, what I really wanted to get out of this experience was being able to better share what I'm making, what I'm doing, and why it should matter to people, with my coworkers, with everyone here, with my friends, my family, with strangers. I wanted to get better at sharing those things. And I think in a little bit, in a small sense, that's why everyone is here as well. Whether we want to share our humor or share our stories or our wisdom, we all want to share a little bit about ourselves. And we want to be here because we want to get better about sharing ourselves with the world. So thank you for listening to my speech today. And thank you for helping me improve my ability to share myself with all of you guys. Thank you.
Wow. Excellent job, Ryan. Yes.
Great.
Yes. Congratulations. Your icebreaker is out of the way. It only gets better from here. Great job. And yes, we're all here to become better communicators. At least I am. And that's a big part of being able to effectively share our stories and experiences. So Well done, Ryan, and we look forward to your next speech. So, as we do every meeting, we give our speaker feedback on via a Google form. So for our online guests and members, you can find the Google form on our website, LosGatosToastmasters.org. There's a link there to the Google form. For those that are in the meeting here, we have a QR code printed on a sheet here, a speaker feedback form. Ryan is speaker number 2. It says speaker 1, speaker 2. Go to speaker number 2 and let's take 2 minutes to provide Ryan with some valuable feedback on his speech tonight. And then make sure you hit next at the bottom, and that will take you to the next page for table topics later. Thank you. Let's take 1 more minute. Another 30 seconds. We'll wrap that up. Okay, let's wrap up our comments. And then hit next at the bottom. Excellent. Okay. Speaking of next up is my favorite portion of our weekly agenda. It's the table topics portion. Table topics is a segment where we work on our spontaneous and impromptu speaking skills. Our table topics master will come up here and with questions that we have no idea what they might pertain to. And then anybody can volunteer to spend 1 to 2 minutes answering the question up here at the podium or online, whether it's a member or a guest. This is open to everyone, and we usually have a lot of fun. And tonight, our table topics master is Chris Giannetti. Chris, what do you got for us tonight?
All right, Mr. Toastmaster. Great job tonight. And why don't we give an exorbitant amount of applause to our speakers tonight, Henry Miller and Ryan. Impressed with both, but also impressed with the next generation and Ryan coming up and not saying what an act to follow or anything of that nature. He came up here, he had a message, he had no notes, he spoke from the heart, and he really brought forth some ideas that we can all relate to working and living in Silicon Valley. The things that we create sometimes that are not tangible, their services, their intellectual property, and saying there is a human need to work with our hands in other ways and to be able to share our emotions and our feelings with others. It creates that connection. And I think that's why we're all here. And you also spoke about why we're all here. And so tonight, the topic of table topics will be focused on why we're here and how we feel and what we hope to get out of Toastmasters. And today, this meeting's focused on being an open house. So we're trying to finally take back the curtains on Toastmasters. And for those of you, it's not some secret society or anything, but many of you were kind of reluctant to be here, and you had to kick the tires a couple times, and then maybe you were on board and then off board. But finally, we're all here to celebrate this because there's something about it that we're all seeking in our lives in professional or personal ways. So with that, once again, I have 4 questions. I want to encourage everyone here I keep looking at Nikhil and he keeps looking away at me. So I think that's pretty funny, but Nikhil is also a brand new member and Kevin joined this week. So round of applause for them. New members. So that's why we're here, everybody. Electra, everybody that's here. Ray, I know you have a smile on your face. So who is my first volunteer? It can be someone online, such as Mateo or Kevin, or it can be anyone in here. Okay, so I have 4 questions to go through. Oh, Mateo, look at him. Mateo and then Nikhil. Mateo. First question. Theme, finding your voice. How does it feel physically and emotionally when you have to speak in public? Walk us through that. Do you notice any changes in your body language, in your voice? What emotions tend to surface for you? So you have 30 seconds to think about it, and then 1 to 2 minutes to do your response.
Ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Perfect. When speaking in public, it starts before you actually give the speech. You have to prep yourself. There's a mental game in order to speak well in public. So when I start speaking in public, before I actually get up to give the speech, I have a lot of fear. I have anxiety. But then once I actually get to the stage and start speaking, it feels like a wave just comes over me. And it's almost like drowning, where you just have to accept it at a certain point. And once I have that point of acceptance, I gain confidence. Because with that confidence, I no longer have to fear how people are going to take my speech. I no longer have to fear the preparation. And I'm able to accept that I'm speaking and I can go with the flow, and people will either listen to what I have to say, or they'll end up ignoring my comments and going on with their daily lives. So overall, public speaking starts by creating fear, but ends with gaining skill and acceptance, and either making friends and sending a message, or going on with my day and living a normal life. And with that, I'd like to thank all of you for your wonderful speeches, and all of you for being here, and all of you for presenting feedback. Thank you and have a wonderful night.
Wow. Mateo, is this your first time? Come on.
First time at Toastmasters, not first time doing presentations. And sorry for that.
Well, I think that you hit the nail on the head. There's the mechanics of it, which we can all focus on. It's a sport, it's an art, but then there's the unspoken, unconscious things that we do. The fluidity of it, the keeping our train of thought, the charisma, the hand gestures, and all these things we're all trying to work on at various levels. So good job with your theme and your interesting thoughts that you left us with. And thank you for leading the way. We appreciate that. Okay, Nikhil, I didn't forget about you. So you're next. Well, let's welcome Nikhil up. Nikhil, up to the front, up to the front. So this is in the spirit of what Mateo was saying, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable and letting that wave hit you. And then that actually, it's like a roller coaster. There's a lot of anxiety and then there's relief after that, right? All right, number 2, speaking up for success. That's the theme. Describe a specific situation in your work or personal life where public speaking skills would have been beneficial for you. What were you talking about? And what impact do you think being able to publicly speak would have on the outcome?
Can you repeat the last one?
So what impact does speaking up in that moment, what would that have on the outcome?
What would that have in?
Have on the outcome of that event.
Okay, got
for
it,
you.
got it, got it.
So take your time. Got it?
I know.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Okay. Hello, guys. Good to see all of you here. There are a whole lot of people today as compared to last time.
so I'm a bit nervous than last time. But like responding to the question, I think like I work in tech industry. So for me, public speaking will be beneficial, like, in terms of presentations and, like better public speaking will set me up for success to put my points clearly in presentations, what I'm trying to, it will help me to share what I'm working on more clearly and will set up myself for success in that way. So yeah, like like if I'm able to communicate my ideas in a better, clear and concise way, it will help me to prosper at my workplace. That's that's what I think. So yeah, that's about it.
Perfect, Nikhil. Round of applause. Thank you, sir. Thanks for being brave. Thanks for coming up here. And I think the key is we all have the knowledge, but sometimes our emotions and our physical sensations take over, and then we just get thrown off in the moment. But imagine the speaker that just seems they're unshakable. Some distraction could happen. Child could be crying. Something could occur. Doesn't faze them at all. It's an admirable trait. Okay, our third volunteer can be someone that's been with us for a little bit now. Could be anybody. Alex joined us. He's got a suit on. He's got a suit jacket on. Would you like to come up, Alex, and give it a shot? You can go, and then I'll give the last one to someone else. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Alex Sandoval. Alex has an amazing life story. He was a Toastmaster here for 2 to 3 years.
Yep.
Was also in various officer roles and led the club as a club president for some time. So welcome back.
Thank you.
Number 3. The unspoken words. Share an experience where you wanted to speak up, but you did not. A moment in your life where you wanted to speak up, but you did not. What held you back? What were the consequences of that silence? And what did you learn from that experience?
Thank you, Chris. I don't know. I can't really think of one because I usually don't hold back. I usually speak how I feel. But
You shouldn't have spoken.
Or
it's
in
time
general.
when Chris was president. No, I'm just joking. Let's think. I mean, shoot, I guess I could take you back to, yeah, when I was in prison, there's a lot of politics and rules in there that you have to go by. And where it's segregated by race, you can't for example, I'm really good, close in here with Chirag, but in there we can't share food or not necessarily talk to each other, but we can't eat off the same plate. It's crazy in there. So there was times in there where I wanted to speak up and I wasn't really able to, but there was a situation where I spoke up, and I had a gentleman who was Black, and I ate his apple, and I was willing to deal with the consequences, whether it was getting beat up or physically, altercations like that. But unfortunately, it was just a workout. I had to do a workout. So, but again, yeah, I really can't think of a time where I didn't speak up because I'm pretty open. So, but that what you said did remind me of that time. So, and I don't mean to get all serious and stuff like that, but that just was a time. So yeah, thank you,
Good
Chris.
job, Alex.
Appreciate it.
And before you leave, on that note,
Yes.
tell us what your vision and passion is for using your talent of your voice and your story.
Well, I thought you never asked.
I want you to share that briefly with us.
Yes, and so real quick, my goal is to, like I said, I have a history of homelessness and addiction. For the people that have been here, probably sound like a broken record player, but there are new faces. And my whole purpose for motivational speaking is because I was literally I was sitting in a hotel lobby, completely broken, completely depressed, homeless. And I scrolled on YouTube and ran across Tony Robbins or Eric Thomas. And that's what literally planted the seed for me to be a motivational speaker. And like Tom, I can barely get up in front of people and talk, but that really inspired me to want to
inspire other men and women with this with public speaking. So that's what really why I like to do speaking and stuff like that. So I said stuff like that. But I joined here back in 2021, and it was probably the best decision I've ever made. I still come back, as you can tell, because iron sharpens iron, and this is where I come to get a little more stronger with the public speaking. So thank you.
Good job, Alex.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Appreciate that.
Alex also did some guest appearances as a public keynote speaker at the SAP Center in front of, I think, like 300 or 400 donors, affluent donors for Salvation Army of Silicon Valley. So that was a really big time for him to shine, tell his story, got some great kudos and got invited to like Atherton and different places after that. And you were mingling with people. So good for you. Good for you. That's why you're dressed up. Last one here. Anyone else would like to take it? Maybe Kevin, would you like to take it, sir? Someone online?
Okay.
Okay. You mentioned this, so it's the perfect question for you. Speaking your way to progress. How can strong public speaking skills contribute to your career advancement? How do these skills enhance your personal relationships and influence the work community of colleagues that you have?
When we think about success, how do we judge it? How do we judge whether we've succeeded or failed? I feel like the only way we can really tell is based on how other people perceive us. And the way in which they perceive us, whether it's how they understand us to be intelligent or charismatic, is based on our communication skills. As we improve our ability to captivate audiences and convey information, we improve our ability to succeed, our ability to sort of enrapture other people's attention. If you can't get other people's attention, then you can't really succeed. By improving our abilities to convey information, we improve our ability to succeed. And so on that note, thank you very much.
Good job, Kevin. All right, perfect. We're all here to succeed. Succeed is relative to every different person and individual. We've succeeded tonight by making folks uncomfortable in a supportive environment. We weren't exorbitantly uncomfortable, but just enough to show you what it's like to make public speaking not a moment of fear, but a moment of exhilaration. So let's embrace that moment. Let's embrace that feeling. Let's conquer this and use it as our superpower for when we need to go up and influence other people. We're good. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, for those very provocative questions. Thank you for putting the time into that. We can tell that you gave that a lot of thought, and we appreciate it. So before we move on, let's vote for the table topics participant who we felt did the best job tonight. We had 4 speakers. This is on page 2 of your Google form. First up was Mateo. Second up was Nikhil. Third was Alex. And last but not least, Kevin. So just type in their name, whoever you felt did the best job, and then hit submit at the bottom. The winner will get $50. We have the club has cryptocurrency, Los Gatos Toastmasters crypto, $50 of the crypto. We do need to warn you, I have to make this disclosure. Currently, the net asset value is, we're underwater. So you're going to need to hold on to it probably for a lifetime before to realize any positive net value. But don't give up. Yes. Okay. Without any further ado, we're on to the speaker evaluation portion of the program. So we had 2 speakers tonight, Henry and Ryan. Alexi will be evaluating Ryan's speech, but for Henry's speech, something we do a little differently is we just have time for maybe 3 people to spend no more than 1 minute with some observations that they'd like to share about the impression that Henry's speech made, what he did well. If there's anything you can find in there for room for improvement, I'm sure Henry would appreciate that. That's why we're here, to continue to improve. Even someone who's been here 27 years, right, Henry? There's always room for improvement. So I'm going to go real quickly. Henry, great speech. I really was enthralled with your delivery. I mean, the hand gestures, the eye contact, the enthusiasm, your pacing, your pausing, the vocal variety, the changing of the voices. That was wonderful. And you added humor and also some seriousness. But the one thing that stuck out the most for me was your conclusion. A lot of times our conclusion is an afterthought. We just wrap it up with a quick sentence, but he brought some drama to that conclusion and really tied it up quite nicely. And the way you were slowly speaking at the end there made it very dramatic, and we were all listening to the conclusion. So well done there. Those are my thoughts. No more than 1 minute. We have time for 3 people. Who wants to come up first? Don't be bashful. Henry doesn't bite. I know he's a 27-year vet. Melissa, come on up.
This is the first time we've come up to do this in round robin style, but I grew up a book on tape girl. I always listened to books on tape and it brought me a lot of comfort. And from like your first word, it was like someone hit play and I could like hear the click of the player. Like it was a story. It was like being a little girl again, listening to one of my books on tape. So I really enjoyed, like you had said, the vocal variety, the intonation, the expression. I kind of forgot to think about the things we were evaluating and just truly enjoyed the story and got to listen to it like real entertainment. So that was lucky. And the other thing that I really enjoyed, like you also touched on, was just your use of space, the way you moved around. You kind of took on each character when you were the dad, and then when you were the son, and then when you were the wave, the way you were treated. So all of that I really enjoyed.
Thank you, Melissa. 2 more. Don't be bashful. Maria, come on up. What do you got for Henry?
Well, I really appreciate that you visited us and gave this perfect speech. And well, I don't think it's a speech. It's a theatrical performance. Full scale, right? It's a symphony with words, right? And thank you for providing us a great example. In my today's capacity as a counter, I saw how you use the pauses, the movement to deliver the thoughts, the feelings. You delivered feelings. You connected so closely to each of us that, wow, I really appreciated it. Things to improve. Probably it's our setting here, because sometimes it was not perfectly, I couldn't hear perfectly well. But again, it would be great to have the microphone here on you, like, yeah, instead of this. Because if we appreciate the movement, right? If you appreciate claiming the space, then the microphone would be a great idea. But other than that, so wonderful to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Okay, we have time for one more person. Anybody want to share any additional feedback? No? Going once? Going twice? Okay, Phoebe, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So Henry, that was great. Just like what Melissa mentioned about when you first spoke, I feel I am watching a movie. So that my first thought was how a very good actor, they practice a speech or a talk on the movie to be a very great actors, such as Michael Douglas. One time he talked about, I think Wall Street or one of, so they talk about that have a speech. You had that temperament and the poise to make me feel like that. So wonderful job. And also, again, just like the pause, the vocal variety, just elevate the speech. Let me feel speech is not just like this. It's like you can show some performance and from the passion, from the heart. So thank you.
Thank you, Phoebe. I know I put you on the spot, but that's how we do it here. You know, you have an opportunity to volunteer. And we can do it the easy way or the hard way. If you don't volunteer, then sometimes you're voluntold. But thank you for being a good sport. Yes, come on up, Henry.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to actually recall a part of my past. Actually, my father, Big George, was a toughie. You know, and early to bed, early to rise was his mantra. Get up at 6 o'clock and we'd go to the sea, the beach, and the story is a bit embellished, but it was almost 90% of it is true. I don't know where that question came. When it came in left field, what is love? And how do you know when you're in it? And couldn't, the first time, you know. The other time I saw my father cry, once I saw him cry when he went to see a movie. The Hills Are Alive, you remember that song? Sound of Music. Yeah, he was big. As big as you, or even bigger. Yeah, George Foreman big. And, you know, he was tough. He was a cop, and you had to toe the line. So again, thank you for giving me the opportunity to just relive that moment. Thanks again.
Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Henry. And thank you again for being our guest speaker tonight. You're an inspiration to us all. And he shows us what's possible in Toastmasters, where you can take your Toastmasters journey if you're so inspired and so inclined. You know, the sky's the limit, as Henry has demonstrated. So thank you again, Henry. Okay, time to evaluate Ryan's icebreaker speech tonight. Alexi is our speech evaluator. Alexi.
So Electra, give me a sign when to stop, Electra. Just, yeah, I'm from the trip from Steel Cannon, jet lag, etc. Wave it, big time. You may jump, whatever. So Ryan, yeah, really, thank you for the speech. It's kind of exceeded my expectation personally. So from icebreaker, it turned into like a full developed story. And now, just for start, I will go through this checklist on the Toastmasters website. Clarity, spoken language, to me, it's absolutely clear. It was a little bit fast, so general recommendation on all this website to speak slowly. Though that TED Talk shows that I listen to, many speakers speak really fast, and even professional speakers. But generally, recommendation speaking slowly. I guess, yeah, you can decide on your own, just watch on user video and decide what speed is appropriate. Typically, it's probably for more complicated speeches where like people prone to mistakes, and slow speech give it time to correct or just to, you know, put thoughts together if needed, especially long speeches, right? 40 minutes, hour, etc. Vocal variety, just good enough to me. So was not like really performance like Henry's right, but that's kind of sound natural to me, really, like you speak for yourself without overplaying. So for this type of topic, I think it's appropriate. Oh, yeah, because there are different purposes, right? Like performance on a stage or just speaking naturally about yourself. Eye contact, so we can work on this part. So if just watch people here, like I know, like guys more experienced than me, they're really great with that. So I have same problem. So even after a year of trying. So, but Tom, Chris are really great, just, you know, playing with ice, like with audience. So just Henry actually as well just appealed personally. Gestures. In the beginning, you started like taking your hands backward. It was a little bit kind of, you know, it was noticeable. But then you corrected yourself, was great, good. But just pay attention to it. Again, just watch videos. Audience awareness. So your appeal to audience was really great. Close connection. I just especially started talking about woodcraft. Just remember how I worked with my dad son. Same question, why I needed it for it all. And that let's do it. And same stories, just really rings a bell, at least for me. Same memories. And that was interesting connection, woodcraft in your childhood when you just rejected, started working in teens, and now just proceeded to your current occupation. And all this idea of sharing, just again, from woodcraft, teens years, for your first table you made, to sharing that work and just real environment, that's really great. I like this idea, and it relates to everything. And I don't know what's going on with chip designers, but I see it everywhere. We have a logic designer, chief logic designer, replace engines in cars, right? You just as a chip maker, walk on rook. I noticed selector, okay. So really great speech. You turned this icebreaker into a real story. Thank you. Just really appreciate it.
Thank you, Alexei. Well done. Okay, we have about 5 minutes to go. I promised that we're going to end this on time, so we're turning to our functionary roles. So try and keep your reports down to 1 minute, if at all possible, and we'll end here on time. First up, first time timer, Electra. You're up. How'd we do?
Okay, reset. Hello. So this evening, everyone did very well. Henry, your speech was 6 minutes and 57 seconds, so it was perfect. And Ryan, your speech was a little bit short at 4 minutes and 16 seconds, but great job. And then on the table topics, Mateo, you came in at 1:39, so it's supposed to be between 1 and 2. Nikel, you came in at 1 minute. Alex, you came in at 1:32. Good job. And Kevin, where am I? Oh, Kevin. 59 seconds, so just 1 second short. As far as the evaluations for Henry's speech, Tom, you were 39 seconds. Well, I don't know if we were I was supposed to even time you. Melissa, you were 42 seconds. Maria, you were 1:17, and Phoebe, is that your name? Yeah. You were 49 seconds. And then, let's see, Alexei, you were 3 minutes and 19 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you, Electra. First time timer. Now Electra will be giving her icebreaker speech in a few weeks. So you saw how Ryan did it tonight, so you're up next. Next up, counter. Maria, how'd we do?
Thank you, Tom. So in the category of exuberant use of filler words, the winner is Electra, Alex, and Alexei. And here, most usage is For Alexei, it's also kinda, like, and just. And just might be meaningful, but it's not always needed, I think. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria. Next up, our grammarian word of the day, Arun. Arun, how did we do?
Yeah, so today was quite interesting because there was a lot of unique phrases that we heard. I'll try to highlight some of it given the lack of time. So pearls of wisdom inherited. So that was a good usage of phrase. Then caught in the clutches of riptide. So it was a good way to take us there. And there's a lot of quotes in use, early to bed and early to rise. Love is patient, love is kind. That was a really powerful way of expressing love. And even Ryan, I did count not some of the words, right? Like how do you feel it, touch it, and hold it, right? When you want to express the output of your work. So that's a good way to kind of express what you're trying to convey. There are a lot of phrases that were quite relevant, like expressing public speaking like a drowning feeling, and starts with fear and ending with acceptance. Matteo, this phrase there. And then the some ways to express theatrical performance and symphony to deliver feelings. I think that was Maria to express the evaluation. And also the ways to express the speech itself, like listening to audiobooks, like how actor practicing speech to deliver a poise and a great speech itself. So there's a lot of great moments to note today, but I'll, for the lack of time, I'll just keep it short. Thanks.
And last but not least is our general evaluator tonight, Chirag. What do you have for us?
Thank you, thank you. So I would say this is an excellent, successful open house with a packed agenda as well as a packed room. So great to see, everyone here. I will just go through some quick, what I observed in the meeting. So Alexi, you did a great job of introducing the guests, or like at least keeping them involved at the beginning of the meeting. Tom, excellent on time management. We started on time and we are ending on time. So that's great. The roles were filled before the meetings. Just for the new guests, we have a tool called Trello where we can sign up for roles 4 weeks in advance. So you can sign up. So everyone had filled up for a role for this meeting. So that was great. Also good engagement during the speeches. Everyone looked engaged just because of the quality of speeches. So we had like a super experience, 27-year experience, Henry, and then icebreaker by Ryan. So great, both great speeches. And then table topics, Chris, excellent job on the table topics. It was somewhat difficult, but not too difficult so it kept like the speaker or the speeches interesting. Evaluations were really good. There was some honest feedback. Sometimes we are reluctant to give honest feedback to experienced speakers, but everyone, like the people who gave feedback, was really good. Overall, yeah, good meeting. I think as far as improvements, we'll take feedback from Maria about new equipment, maybe get a mic or something. So, but great meeting. Yeah.
Thank you, Chirag. We'll leave it to Chris to figure out the new mic. He's our gizmo. He's our club expert on the gizmos. So it's been my pleasure to be your Toastmaster tonight. I really enjoyed this role. Our winner for best table topic tonight was Matteo. Matteo, congratulations.
Thank you.
Excellent job. That was a very polished table topics response, very polished. So well done. So you're a winner tonight. And before I turn it back to Alexi to end the meeting, this is the season for Halloween, and I would be remiss if I didn't provide you with some humor, a Halloween-based humor. So you know that kid Albert Einstein. He was a wonderful, wonderful fellow, Albert Einstein. But his brother Frank was a monster. Thank you. Back to Alexi. Frankenstein. Frankenstein.
Thank you, Tom. So guys, our meeting is coming to the end. Just a few last words before we just wrap it up. For our guests, guys, you are welcome. You can join us several times. Take a look, make up your mind, decide, and you're welcome to join us anytime. Kevin, you are kind of the new member. I'm not sure if we mentioned it or not. After every meeting, Chris publishes it. We have posted on YouTube, so it's only for those who participate here It's not encrypted, but it's kind of not broadcasted just specifically by links. So everybody can take a look how they present, take a look at their presentation, make analysis. So Ryan, same, just watch yourself and you're the best judge, right? That's the best way, I guess. At least I found it extremely helpful, this video materials, one of the best. Receiving all this feedback, just then processing it and watch on my own, just from my side. So overall, thank you for coming. Thank you for guests. Henry, thank you for coming. Alex, happy to see you here. Come often again. It was, two presidents back. He was a president here. Challenging. Okay, and for guests, hope to see you next time. Thank you, guys. Last but not least.
Thank you.
You guys.